Okay, for this project I'm using the size I 5.5mm crochet hook and a Red Heart Super Saver. It's 4-ply worsted weight acrylic. You can use any 4-ply yarn that you want. Okay, and this you can customize it to any size you want. So you make a chain for as long as you want. And I did my chain 30 chains. And then you want to double crochet in the 4th stitch from the hook. And then you want to go across the chain, putting 1 double in each stitch for the length of your chain. Okay, once you get to the end of your chain, in the very last stitch, I'm going to put 5 double crochets in that same stitch. Like that. And then you want to, once you get 5 double crochet in that corner, you just want to turn it around here, and we're going to start working on the bottom side of your chain. And here's where I put the 5 in, so I just want to skip over to the next stitch, and I'll continue back down the row, putting 1 double crochet in each stitch. Okay, when you make it back down to the other end, you want to go ahead and put 5 double crochets in this last stitch down here to match the other side. There's 1, 2, 3. Oh. 4, 5. And then we want to slip stitch into this first one right here, the top of it. Like that. That's what we got so far. Now I'm going to chain 3, and this chain 3 is going to count as a double crochet. And the chain 3 is going to count as a double crochet for the rest of the project. So I did a chain 3. So now I want to go back into the same stitch that I just slip stitched into, and the same stitch that this chain 3 is coming out of, and do another double crochet. So that's 2 double crochet in that same stitch. And then I want to go to the next one, and I want to put 2 double crochet in that stitch. And now I just want to work 1 double crochet in each stitch. Until I reach down here at this end. Okay, I made it back down here to this end. So we want to make, what I want to do is, here's where I put the 5 in the corner, you can see them. I want to go 2 stitches before that, right there. And that one, the second stitch before the 5 in the corner, I want to put 2 double crochet in it. And then the next stitch I want to put 2 double crochet. And then I want to put 2 double crochet in the 5 that I put in the corner. So 2 in each of them. Okay, I got 2 in each of the 5 in the corner. And now I want to put 2 in each of the next 2. So it matches the other side. So 2 in each of them. 2 in this one. Okay, now I'm going to start working again, putting 1 double crochet in each stitch. Until I get down to the other side. And we're going to make both sides match each other. So I made it my way back down to this side. And I'm 2 before the 5 that I put in the corner down here. So I want to put 2 in each of these 2. And then I want to put 2 in each of the 5 stitches down here on the end. So 2 in each of them. And then I want to slip stitch into the beginning chain 3. And in the beginning, remember we put 2 stitches in each of the first 2. Now both ends match up. So that's the bottom part of the bag. So now basically it's going to be rows of double crochet, or rounds of double crochet. So all we're going to do every round now, it's going to be the same thing. We're going to chain 3 at the beginning. And then we're just going to go around putting 1 double crochet in every stitch. All the way around. So it's going to be 1 in each stitch all the way around. And when you get around, you just slip stitch into the chain 3 to close that round off. And then you chain 3 again, 1 double crochet all the way around. And you just want to keep doing that until you get as tall as you want the backpack to be. And I'm not quite sure how many rows I'm going to do, so I'm just going to start doing rounds of double crochet, and I'll let you know in a minute how many I do. I went ahead and did 14 rounds of the 1 double crochet in each stitch. We did the 2 rounds on the bottom that I had increases on, and then we started working 1 double in each stitch. I did a total of 14. But you can do more if you want. Now I'm going to make a row a little different now, because I'm going to put a drawstring on it. So I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into my chain 3 to end that round. Anyways, I want to put a drawstring on it. So I want it to be, the holes to be a little bit wider in between, because I'm going to put a thicker drawstring than usually. I usually make a chain drawstring, but I'm going to make a thicker one this time. So what I'm going to do is chain 4, and that's going to count as a double crochet and a chain 1. So I'm going to skip the next stitch and double crochet in the next. And then I'm going to chain 1, skip the next stitch, and then double crochet in the next. And then I want to chain 1, skip a stitch, and double crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip, and then double crochet. So that's leaving these holes, making it fatter, so I can put a little bit bigger of a drawstring through there. Chain 1, skip a stitch, and then double crochet. Chain 1, skip, and double. So we just want to do this around back till we get back to the beginning. Okay, once you made it around, after that row, you want to slip stitch into the third stitch of your chain 4. Like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and clip my yarn and tie off. For the flap, we're going to start with the slip knot, and we're going to work a chain of 4. Slip stitch into the first one to form a ring. Just making a basic half circle flap. Now you want to chain 3, and that counts as our first double crochet. And you want to go back through the center of the ring, and when we count in this chain 3, we need a total of 6 double crochets. Oops. Okay. I got 6. Now you want to chain 3 and turn. Now we're going to put 2 double crochets in each stitch. This chain 3 counts as our first, so you want to go back in the same stitch and put another one. And then you want to work along, putting 2 in each stitch. You want to make sure that your last 2 always go into this chain 3 from the previous round, so your work doesn't end up crooked. Like that. And then you want to chain 3 and turn again. This time around we'll be putting, this counts as your first double crochet, and you want to go to the next stitch and put 2 double crochet in that one. And then the next stitch would just get 1. And the next stitch is going to get 2. And then 1. And then 2 in the next. And then 1. And then 2 in the next, and you just want to repeat this pattern. The 1 double crochet, then 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and 2 double crochet. And every round you should always end in an increase stitch where there's 2 double crochet in the last stitch. Should always be like that. That way if you do that, you know you counted right. My last 2 is going to go right here. And you want to chain 3 again. Counts as our first double crochet and turn. So you want to do, this is our first double crochet, and then we're going to put 1 double crochet in the next, and then our increase. 2 doubles in the same stitch. And then it goes 1 in the next, 1 in the next, and then 2. So this time it's 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, all the way to the end. And that's going to be what we're going to do. And when we get to the end, after this row, we chain 3, and then it's 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3 in a row, and then 2. And then the next row would be 4 double crochets in a row, and then 2 in the same stitch. And the next row will be 5 double crochets in a row, and then the increase 2 in 1 stitch. So it's real easy, and I already got mine finished. So you want to have a total of 8 rows, and I did this last one in a different color to kind of make it look like his hat. And when you get that finished, we'll go ahead and sew it onto our big piece here. I'm going to sew it on using single crochet. You can use slip stitch if you want. It's really up to you. So we're going to put it on the back flap so it flaps over. So I'm going to sew it on the back flap backwards like this. Sew it right here, and then when I flip it over, the seam will be on the inside and you won't be able to see it. So you just line it up here. It should go pretty close to the end. And then I'm just going to start out our row from this round right here. You're going to put, when you slip stitch it or single crochet it together, you're going to make sure you do a stitch here and in the middle, here and in the middle. So that's going to count. That middle stitch is going to count as a stitch. So I'm just going to go through single crocheting it together. I'm going to start with that slip knot on my hook, and then I'm going to go into the next stitch, and then the stitch over here, single crochet. And this is going to count. Make sure you go through the chain space to count it as a stitch, and then the stitch on the top, single crochet, then this. And you can't really see the stitches really well on this flat piece. Just do the best you can to equally space them out. And then I'm just going right through the whole chain space there, and then I'm picking up a stitch on that flap, and a stitch here, I'm just going to do this the whole way down. Some of these stitches are hard to go through. Okay, when you make it to the end here, you just want to flip your yarn, and then you can weave your tail in. Okay. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, now we're going to work on his. I'm going to set this to the side for now, and then we'll work on his face and stuff. Okay, first we're going to need to make some ears, and I got one made, and I'll show you how to make them. Okay, set that to the side. I want to start with a slip knot on your hook. And then you want to do a chain 3 and slip stitch into the beginning stitch to form a ring. And you want to chain 2 and that chain 2 is going to count as a half double. And now we want to go back into the center of the ring and do 5 more. So counting that chain 2, we'll have a total of 6 half doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then if you pull your tail, it'll usually make that center circle a little smaller. Now you want to chain 2 again and turn. And now we want to put 2 half doubles in every stitch. So this counts as our first one. So go right back here into the same stitch and do another half double. And then 2 half doubles in the next. And then 2 in the next. In the next. And you want to make sure you have a total of 12 stitches after this, and you want to make sure you go into this chain 2 and put 2 stitches in it. And it's going to be kind of hard to see, and it's going to look like it don't need stitches in it, but make sure you put 2 in that last chain 2, because you're going to need a total of 12, just like that. And now you want to chain 2 again and turn. And we're increasing this just kind of like we increased the flap circle. So that's going to count as our first half double. So you want to go to the next stitch right here and put 2 half doubles in it. And then 1 half double in the next, and then 2 in the next, 1 in the next, and then 2, 1, and then 2, 1, then 2, and then 1. And again, it's going to look like, kind of looks like there isn't another stitch here, but you got to go into that chain 2 right here. Pull it out, you can see it, the top stitch of that chain 2, and put 2 double crochets in it. Chain 2, turn your work again. And this is going to count as our first half double. So you want to go to the next stitch and put a half double. And then the next stitch is going to get 2. So 1 in the next, 1 in the next, and then 2. One, 1 and 2, 1, 1 and 2, 1, 1, 2, and 1, 1, and then 2 in this last stitch here, the chain 2 from the previous round. Okay. Okay, and that's the last row then for the ear. So you want to clip your yarn, and you need to make 4 of these pieces like this, 2 for each ear, because I sewed 2 together. That way it was a lot thicker. Otherwise, I tried it with just 1, but it was really floppy, and this I think looks a lot nicer. So once you get 4 together, or 4 of them made, I'll show you how to sew them together. Okay, I'm going to sew them together. I'm going to single crochet them together. So you want to start with a slip knot on your hook. And if you want to hide these tails with the needle first, you can. I usually just single crochet mine while I'm going, so I don't have to sew them in. But you got the whichever side you want to be the good side. They both kind of look the same to me, but put them facing out, and the good side's facing out together. And then just start up here in the corner, and we'll single crochet together around. So go ahead and go through the first stitch, and then the first stitch on the other piece. And pull through that slip knot on your hook. And then we'll go into the next stitch, and the next stitch on the other piece, single crochet. And then the next stitch on the other ear, and single crochet. So we're just going to go down, single crochet, and matching the stitches up on both pieces. And I'm hiding these tails as I go. Okay, almost to the end here. And I'm going to go ahead and single crochet together down this side too. That way it's going to be easier to sew on to your bag if it has a straight line. So you just continue going down. It's going to be a little bit harder to see on this side, the stitches, but just sew it together the best you can. You're not really going to be able to see this part if you mess up a little bit, because you're going to be sewing it together with a yarn needle onto your bag. So I'm just sewing it the best I can to get it together on this side. Okay, when I make it to the end, to end it, I'm just gonna slip stitch into the very first single crochet over here, like that. And then I'm gonna cut a long tail so I can sew it onto my bag later with it. Okay, there's my ears. Turned out pretty good. I'm going to set them to the side. I'm going to make all my pieces, and then we'll sew them on. Now I'm going to start on the mouth. So I started with a chain of 15, and I want to double crochet in the 4th stitch from the hook, and then I'm going to double crochet in every stitch along the chain. Here, when you get to the last stitch down here, you want to put 5 double crochets into the last stitch. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're just going to continue following it around. Now we're just going to start doing 1 double crochet again in each stitch on the bottom part of this chain. And then when you get to the last stitch down here, let me get to it real quick. Right here, I'm going to put 5 double crochets in it to match the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My yarn's all tangled up again. And then what you want to do is slip stitch into the top of this first stitch right here to close that round out. Like that. Now you want to do a chain of 3, and that's going to count as a double crochet. You want to go back into the same stitch that you just slip stitched into and do another double. So that's 2 double crochets in that first stitch. And then you want to put 2 double crochets into the next stitch. Like that. And then 1 double crochet down the row. And then here's the 5 you put in the corner from the previous row. You want to go back two stitches from the 5, and we'll put 2 double crochets in each of them. And then you want to put 2 double crochet in each of the 5 that you put in the corner from the previous round. So 2 in each of them. Once you get 2 in the 5, I got one more here, you want to put 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches after the 5 that are in the corner. 2 in each of the ones after that 5 that are in the corner. Okay. Now we're going to work our way down to here, and we're going to make this side match this side over here. So putting 1 double crochet in each stitch now. This yarn, I got a skein of yarn that doesn't pull from the middle. I hate that. And then it has to pull from the outside and it keeps flipping around on me. Okay, we're doing 1 double crochet till we get down to here, until we get to 2 before the 5 that we put on the end, and that's where we'll start again, making it match the other side. Okay, I'm 2 stitches before the 5 here on the end, so I want to put 2 double crochets in each of them. And then I want to put 2 double crochet in each of the 5 on the end. And then you want to slip stitch into your beginning chain 3 to close that round off. And since we, in the very beginning, we put 2 double crochet in the first 2 stitches, now both sides match, and that's what we want. Now I want to make it where I can, my mouth looks kind of 3D and I can put some stuffing in it. And in order to do that, what I want to do now is, I'm not going to increase anymore. I'm going to do a chain 3 and I'm going to go around the whole thing with 1 double crochet in each stitch. Oh. So I'm going to work my way around, doing 1 double in every stitch until I get back to the beginning. Okay, when you make it back around, you just want to slip stitch into your beginning chain 3 like that. And now you want to cut a really long tail, a few feet, so we can sew it on to the back. And now he's it looks kind of like an oval bowl. And when we flip it over, we'll be able to sew it on and put a little bit of stuffing in it to make it stick out just a little bit. So, but now I want to make the red part of his mouth before I sew it on. Get that on first. So I just want to start with the slip knot and do a chain. See here. I'll do a chain of 12. That's what you want to do. And then we'll double crochet in the 4th stitch from the hook. And then we'll double crochet along the chain, 1 in each stitch. And then when you get to the last stitch of the chain, put 5 double crochets in it. 1, 2, 5. And now we're just going to work down the back side of the chain, put in 1 double crochet in each stitch. Until we get to the last stitch of our row. Let me cut this tail off, it's getting in my way. Okay. And when you make it to the last stitch of your row, put 5 doubles in that stitch to match the other side. 1, 2, and then you just slip stitch into the very first chain like that. And now we want to tie off with the long tail so we can sew it on. Okay, that's kind of what we got. So now you want to take your piece, make sure you're putting it on the right side. Well, I guess whichever side looks the best to you. And we'll sew it right here in the middle with a yarn needle. You want to put a couple pins in it to hold it there. That way I put it right where I want it and then it won't move on me. Now I'm just going to go around, just sewing it straight through. Just like this. And you just want to sew it on around the whole piece just like this. Take out that pin. Okay, I got that piece made. Now I'm going to sew on some of this stuff. So just lay your bag out right. Now I got buttons for the eyes that I got at Walmart. But if you don't have buttons, you can just make little circles. So with some black yarn, it's up to you. But you just lay everything out how you want it to look. You get about where you want it to be, like that. Once you get it to where you want it, your mouth and your eyes and everything, I always take some pins and pin them down. Well, the eyes I won't be able to, but pin this mouth down. That way he can't move while I'm sewing it on. Just kind of like we pin that on. Okay, I'll sew his mouth on first. So you take your long tail that you had, and then you just put a yarn needle on it. And I'm going to move my other things for now. Open up the top of it. And we're just going to be sewing it on the inside part. We don't want to go all the way through the back. And I'm going to sew around this outside edge here. Just kind of the same way we sewed this. So, once you got it pinned down really good in the spot that you want it, start sewing it on. It's the same way that we sewed on the little red part of the mouth. But I'm going to put a little stuffing in it. I got some fiber fill, so I'm going to sew up pretty close to the edge, and then I'll leave an opening and stuff some fiber fill in it, and then I'll finish sewing it. And you don't have to stuff it if you don't want to. If you don't have fiber fill, you can stuff it with other stuff like little beans, or I've even used like shredded toilet paper before. The toilet paper is a little harder to make it take shape, but you just got to work with it. And just anything really, piece of foam or something, and just if you have like any old stuffed animals, I do this sometimes, that are you're not going to use anymore, no one wants, you can take the stuffing out of them and use that, or even the eyes off of them if you need the eyes. I go sometimes to resale shops too. I mean, not only to buy belts and everything for my bags, but I look for old stuffed animals and see if they have good eyes, or I know I'm weird, but then I'll cut the eyes off of them and use them. It's creepy, I guess, but it works. So I'm just going to sew this on around. Sewing my mouth on, and I left a little space here at the end so I can put some stuffing in it, and then I'll finish sewing it up. So just stuff it kind of lightly. I guess it's however much you want to space this stick out. Get it in there all even. And then just finish sewing it up. Like that, and get it all sewed up. Got his mouth stuffed and finished sewed on. Now I'm going to sew on his eyes. And I'm just going to sew it on using yarn and a yarn needle. Just sew them on like you would any button. So you want to get both his eyes sewed on, and then we'll work on his ears. Okay, I pinned his ear down to where I wanted it, and I'm just sewing right along this line here. Kind of just like we sewed the mouth on, but I'm just going down in this part. I'm not going around the whole thing. This way his ear will be kind of on its own. So much easier if you pin it That way it ain't sliding away on you. Oh. And this is how you want to do both ears. Just pin them where you want them. And try to get them equal as you can. You can follow the these lines if you want. That's usually what I do. Take that pin out. Once you get him sewed on, you can hide your tail and go ahead and sew on the other one. So far, so good. Now we got a few more things to do, and then we'll be done. I'm going to set this big piece aside, and I'm going to work on the drawstring now. So I'm going to fold him up and move him. We ain't got too much more to go. What I'm going to do for the drawstring is I'm going to make a braid of a couple different colors of yarn. I'm going to use the red and a white, or whatever the colors that you use for the hat. And I'm going to braid them together. Okay, I cut about 10 or 12, let me count, 10 strands of yarn, and they're really long. Probably about 6 or 8 feet, because you can always cut them shorter, but you want to make sure that you have enough. So I'm going to start here at the end. I cut more of the red than I did the white, but only because the white was acting funny and wasn't rolling out for me, so I quit. Start with a knot here at the end and leave some extra there so you have a few frillies hanging. We'll trim these up in a little bit. Now all I'm going to do is a simple braid. You want to put this somewhere that's going to hold it, and then I'm just going to braid it. Divide it up and do a simple braid on it. Braid made, but I haven't finished it all the way to the end. I'm going to go ahead and weave it through so I can see how far I need to go with it. I'm going to make it come out over here on the side somewhere. So just start, weave these long ends first. Weave these through your long ones, so I want to make sure I have enough. I don't want to stop and then not have enough, so I always do it this way. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, now I'm just going to weave it around, over and under each of these loops we made. Oh, at the top here. And I want to do this all the way around to the other side, and I can see if I need it to braid it more. If it doesn't make it, I'll just keep braiding it and pull it through as I need it. So pull that string out. Okay, I weaved it all the way around, and this I'm going to braid this a little bit more to make it longer. Make it however long you want it, it's up to you. And then you just want to tie a knot and leave some frilly things at the end. Okay. So worst thing about braiding, it always gets tangled down here all the time. Okay, that's probably long enough. I'm just going to tie a knot in it. Tie it tight. And then I'm going to cut these off equal. Leave a couple inches or so, however long you want them. Make them about the same size. Okay, there's that. You can pull him shut a little bit and tie him off. Okay, though, first, now I'm going to, let me look at him. I think I'm going to put a red pom-pom up here. There's no sock monkey complete without a red pom-pom before I put the straps, so I'm going to move him to the side again. He's getting close. Now I'm just going to make a pom-pom. If you know how to, if you have a pom-pom maker, that's fine, but I don't, so I just wrap it around my hand several times, like lots. Got this big thick piece, and I'll lay it out like that. And then I'm going to tie it, and I'm going to tie it with a long string so I can sew it on at the end. Just tie it really tight, right in the center. Real tight. Okay, and you can cut it. And I left long tails so I can sew it on. Now you just cut open your loops on both sides. And then you'll have your pom-pom. Here and cut these loops. My scissors aren't really that sharp. And you can just trim it up to make it look like how you want it. And I'm just going to sew it on the top of my bag, on the flat part. So right up here, right here in the center probably, with the yarn needle. Okay, I got his pom-pom sewed on right up here. I just sewed it on right in the center there. And then I went ahead and made some straps. Now you can make any kind of straps that you want. I'll just show you what I did real quick. I chained 60, which you want, I would adjust it to whoever you're making it to. It might need to be bigger or smaller depending on who it is. And I just did a double crochet in every stitch all the way down. And then I just used my yarn needle and I sewed them right here and then just right down here at the bottom on the opposite sides. And you don't have to do that. You can do different straps. And if you're giving it to somebody that's going to carry it and put stuff in it, a good idea would be to use 2 strands of yarn at once to make the strap stronger. And you can always do another row of double crochet to make them thicker, but you can do the straps however you want. And they're real simple, really easy. Just sew it right down at the bottom and right up here at the top. And that's it. My monkey is done, and I think that he is really cute. I really like him. Don't forget to check out all my other tutorials too. And if you make this monkey, I'd love to see a picture of it. You can post a picture of it on my Bagoday Crochet Facebook page. I'll put a link below. And don't forget to check me out on Blogger too. And until next time, have a good day.